So, you're thinking about getting a new iPhone here in India, and you want to do it on credit. Well, let me tell you, how you choose to pay can make a massive difference to your wallet. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to buy it the smart way using no-cost EMIs.
Okay, let's just get right to it. I want to start with a huge warning because this is so important. Making just one simple mistake when you buy your iPhone could literally cost you thousands of rupees. But on the flip side, using the right credit card can get you that exact same phone for way cheaper.
So look at this. It really breaks down to two very different paths you can take. On one side, you're just throwing money away by making a really common mistake. And on the other, you're on the path to some pretty big savings. Our goal today? It's simple, to make sure you stay firmly on the right side.
All right, so this leads us to the very first big question you have to ask yourself. Should you pay the whole amount up front in cash, or should you go for an EMI plan?
You know, the answer here is actually pretty simple. It all comes down to your personal financial situation. If you've got the cash sitting there and paying for it all at once won't mess with your savings or your emergency fund, then yeah, that's the easiest way. But if you'd rather keep that cash free for other things, maybe investments or just for peace of mind, that's what we call liquidity, then a smart EMI is absolutely the way to go.
But here's the one thing I really want you to take away, the one rule you should never break. Do not, under any circumstances, use a normal EMI with those crazy high interest rates. That's the trap. That is how you end up paying thousands extra. We are only interested in the smart way.
And that, of course, brings us to the magic words, no-cost EMI. I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, right? So let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on here.
So, what exactly is a no-cost EMI? This is where a lot of people get confused. It doesn't actually mean there's zero interest. What's really happening is that the interest the bank charges you gets completely canceled out by an instant discount you get on the phone's price. Let me show you.
Let me walk you through how this actually works. It's kind of clever. So let's say the iPhone costs 80,000 rupees. Now, with the right card, you get an instant discount of, say, 5,000 rupees. The bank basically uses that discount money to pay for its own interest charges. So you still pay the bank back the full 80,000 over time, but because of that discount, the phone really only cost you 75,000 out of your pocket. See?
Okay, so now that we've cracked the code on how it works, let's talk about the what. What are the actual tools you need? Which specific credit cards are your best bet for these no-cost EMI deals? Here are the big three. Think of it this way. HDFC is basically the king if you're buying straight from an Apple store. They have the most frequent deals with Apple. Now, if you live and breathe on Amazon, especially during those big sales, the ICICI card is going to be your best friend. And for all you Flipkart shoppers out there, the Axis Bank card usually has the best offers and cashback.
All right, theory's great. Let's talk numbers. Let's do the actual math so you can see the savings for yourself in action.
Okay, let's run through a real-world example. Imagine the iPhone you've been eyeing costs 90,000 rupees.
Now, just by using one of those cards we talked about, bam, you immediately get an instant discount. In this case, a very nice 6,000 rupees, just like that.
So, what does that mean? It brings your effective price, what you are actually paying for the phone, down to just 84,000 rupees.
And there you have it. That's a total of 6,000 rupees saved. Just saved. All by choosing the right piece of plastic at checkout.
And let's be real, what does that actually mean? That's not just a number on a screen. That's enough to get you a brand new pair of AirPods basically for free. When you think about it that way, the choice becomes a no-brainer, right?
Okay, but before we get too excited, I gotta warn you, it's not always that simple. To make sure you actually hold on to those savings, you need to be aware of a few hidden traps that can catch you by surprise.
You've really got to keep an eye out for these things. Sometimes there's a small processing fee. You'll also have to pay GST on the interest part of your EMI. If you try to pay off the loan early, you might get hit with foreclosure charges. And don't forget, the full price of the phone gets blocked on your credit limit till it's paid off. So please always read the fine print.
And look, if you remember nothing else, remember this. The whole no-cost thing completely falls apart if you miss a payment. The system is only truly free if you pay your full EMI on time every single month, no exceptions.
Phew, that was a lot of info, right? So let's just boil it all down to the simplest possible recommendation to help you find the perfect card for you.
Seriously, just screenshot this. It's the ultimate cheat sheet. If you're buying from an Apple store, online, or in person, use your HDFC card. Grabbing it from Amazon during a sale, that's ICICI territory.
And if you find a great deal on Flipkart, make sure you have that Access Bank card ready to go. It really is that straightforward.
You know, when you think about it, it really boils down to a simple idea. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting a premium phone like an iPhone. The only real mistake is buying it in a way that costs you more money than it has to.
So I want to leave you with this one final question to think about. When you use an EMI, are you smartly using the bank's offer to get ahead? Or are you just handing over your hard-earned money to them as interest? Now you know how to make sure it's the first one. The choice is all yours.